I'm attorney D.T. Christmas with the Ute Law Firm in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we represent people that are charged with all sorts of crimes, from simple possession of pot to first-degree murder. That's what we do. I'm attorney Christmas, and I represent the people of East Tennessee. Let's talk about domestic assault. Oftentimes, people think domestic assault only encompasses a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend getting into it and having an altercation with their significant other. That's just a little bit of what the statute encompasses. Roommates, college roommates, previous people you've been in relationships with, family members, whether that be by marriage or by blood, these are all people that are encompassed in the domestic assault statute. Meaning that if you had a roommate and y'all got into it and it became physical, somebody can be charged with domestic assault. And it even covers past people you've been romantically involved with. Say, for example, a woman is dating a man at the age of 21 years old, and they break up. And fast forward 30 years from now, she sees him in a bar, and he goes, "That's that ugly woman I used to date." And she gets mad and pushes him. She can be charged with domestic assault just because she was intimate with this fella years and years ago. So the statute is not something to play around with. It's serious business. Now, let's talk about some ways that you can protect yourself. Because keep in mind, if you are convicted of domestic assault, you will never be able to own a firearm in the state of Tennessee. It prevents you from living in certain places. It's just not something you want on your record. Let's talk about text messages. We live in the world now to where text messages are used in just about every single case, civil or criminal. Child custody, divorce, order protections, criminal, you slipped and fell at the local gas station. Text messages are always being used. So keep that in mind. Here are some ways that you can protect yourself and use these text messages, because yes, text messages can be used. This is what I tell all clients that are charged with domestic assault. Number one, come to my office immediately and let's go over all these messages, every single one of them. And so you want to meet with your attorney as soon as possible to give context to these text messages to your lawyer. Because you can send them a bunch of text messages, but they don't have any context of what's going on. So I always have clients come in, meet with our team, they go over every single text message. And oftentimes you have 100 plus text messages that you're having to read through. So it takes some time, but that's what you need, what needs to happen in order to do this right. Number two, don't be deleting text messages that don't put you in a nice light. Those will be found out, okay? Just because you delete a text message doesn't mean they can't be found. Because if you're the person, the alleged victim in this case, are deleting messages, we will get those messages. It's called a subpoena. Now, number three. Number three is probably the most important, and that is let the attorney screenshot the messages. I get clients all the time wanting to send me text messages. Hey, look at this. This is what they said. I can't be guilty because of this. And they screenshot the messages and I can't use them, because in order to use them in court, I need to be able to screenshot them in a certain format so I can authenticate these messages at a court proceeding. I had a guy a while ago sent me almost 200 screenshots of text messages, and I couldn't use nary one of them because they were screenshot in a way that I would never be able to make sense of them in court, and I wouldn't be able to authenticate them if we went to trial. Number four, this is just specific to me, what I tell clients to do. Make a timeline of these text messages. Well, that's handwriting it down, okay? So on June the 1st, this is what was going on. These are the text messages that were sent, and be very detailed. Make like a journal of a timeline of what's happened in the past year or 6 months, or anything surrounding these events. So you can look and say, okay, these text messages happened in this context on this time, and this is what was going on. This is the argument we had. These are the people that were there. This is where we were at. This is the location we were at. We are on this side of town. Everything that you can think of surrounding the context of those text messages, write it down in a timeline. That is going to help you tremendously, because you might be arrested today and you might not go to trial until a year or two down the line. So it's important that you make yourself some notes, okay? Number 5, after you are charged or someone you know is charged, do not go and text other people, whether that's your family, your dad, your mother, your sister, about the case. Because those text messages can be discoverable. You can have a subpoena issued to you, and then that phone and those text messages, they can see what's going on. So in essence, and wrapping this thing together, text messages can and will be used in your domestic assault case. It's very imperative that you sit down with your legal team, go over these text messages, talk with the investigator of the firm about these text messages, because they could be very vital to your case. Again, we're here at the Ute Law Firm. We're here for you. If you or your family are ever charged with a crime in East Tennessee, we're here for you 24/7. That's what we do, and we don't apologize for it. Take care and be safe.